Hi, welcome to the Hayward Fly Fishing Company. My name's Larry Mann, and I'm going to talk today about musky fly fishing leaders. We musky fish. We guide fishermen for muskies, and we're out a lot. And if any of you have musky fished in the past, you know that musky fishing requires some specialized equipment. Bigger rods, bigger lines, bigger nets. There's a lot of specialized equipment that goes along with musky fishing, and none more important than the leader. We have experimented with all kinds of materials, and I'm going to talk to you today about what we finally settled on. Whether we're throwing a smaller fly like this or a bigger fly like this, the objective remains the same. We still need to make a good presentation, and we need to have a leader that will allow us to turn those flies over to put them where we want them to go. So I've come up with this through trial and error, many years of experimenting. This is going to sound pretty simple when you see it, but there's been a lot of research and development that's gone through, some failures and whatnot. So this is the final product, at least for now. The material I use to tie this leader consists of Maxima Chameleon monofilament material in 40-pound, 30-pound, and 20-pound sections. And I use Seaguar fluorocarbon for the bite guard portion of my leader. Now I know some of you are thinking, why fluorocarbon, why not wire? People go to Canada, fish for pike. It's very common to use wire. People musky fishing in Hayward, Wisconsin use wire. We have concluded that we get more strikes with fluorocarbon. Wire tends to kink. Fluorocarbon allows the flies to move better. We get a better action on the flies. And yeah, we're probably going to lose a fish every now and then, but we would rather have the action, more action than less, and we'll take that chance. But fluorocarbon is very tough. The reason we like the Chameleon so well is because it is stiffer and it allows us to turn the flies over a little bit better, but it's got a, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a brown color, and we have a lot of tannic stained water in our neighborhood, and this blends right in, and we like it a lot. It ties knots really easy, and it's just been perfect for us. So my leader starts in the 40-pound section with a perfection loop, which is an easy knot to tie, and we'll tie that for you in a little bit. And I use that to attach it to the loop in my fly line. That's an easy attachment, both putting it on and taking it off if I need to change leaders. I have got a 3-foot section of 40-pound test tied to a 2-foot section of 30-pound test using a blood knot. A blood knot's a pretty common knot, so that's no big deal. And you could use a double surgeon's knot if you'd like, but I prefer it's a little neater knot and it's a little more in line as you tie it. And I finish off that 30-pound section with another perfection loop, to which I have looped my 1-foot section of 20-pound test, and the 20-pound test is tied to the 50-pound test or 60-pound fluorocarbon with a knot called the Slim Beauty. And this is a saltwater knot that was developed for tarpon, but we've adapted it for our musky fishing as well. It's a great knot, very strong, really easy to tie, and we'll tie one of those for you as well. Now, I mentioned that I included a 20-pound section in my leader, and that is obviously the weakest point in the leader, and I want a weak point in the leader. If we, for some reason, get hung up, I know some clients don't typically want to do this, but they may be sticking it up in a tree or someplace we can't get to. And if that's the case, if it's hung up on the bottom and we can't get to the fly, I want something that's going to break before my fly line does. And if it's late November, we're not going to dive in. So this is the weakest point where the 30 and 20-pound monofilaments are joined. So I want that in there. You could use 15 if you wanted it to break easier. This is plenty strong to land any of the fish that we are chasing. I have mentioned in talking about this leader, there's several perfection loops in here, and the reason that there are, instead of tying a knot where I have to tie knots, change out the entire leader. This 20-pound section and the fluorocarbon bite guard section are the sections that suffer the most abuse during a day of fishing. We use up some of the bite guard as we change flies. We catch a fish, it's likely to get nicked up a little bit. We keep shortening this up till we have a piece that's just unacceptably short. And rather than switch out my entire leader, I simply go to this 20-30 pound connection and just unloop it, and I keep several of these on board all the time. It's a simple matter of loop to loop connecting back to the 30-pound piece, and I'm back to fishing in no time at all. The 30 and 40-pound pieces of this leader, you may get half a season or more out of them. Nothing really is going to go wrong with this part of the leader. The basic butt section, midsection of the leader, pretty tough stuff. So this is the only portion down here in the 20-pound and 50-pound that we worry about. And the loop-to-loop just makes it easy. Let's take a little closer look at how to tie the perfection loop that I've been referring to as I construct my leaders. This is a real easy knot to tie once you've tied a few of them, but the diagrams in most of the knot books are really not very good, so hopefully this will help. Start with the monofilament in just a straight line, and the first step I'm going to push away with my right hand and do a half turn and form a loop. I'll take the tag end around that first loop and form a second loop, and I'm pinching all that between my thumb and forefinger of my left hand. Now the tag end is going to go, to finish the knot, the tag end will go through between the two loops that I've created, and I'll just pinch that back. I'm going to reach around from the back side, go through that back loop, grab the front loop, let go of everything, and simply pull it up tight. And you end up with a perfection loop. Clip the tag end and you're good to go. And you'll get good at making this any size that you want. This is a little bigger than normal, just for demonstration purposes. We're going to take a look at the Slim Beauty knot, which I use in my leader to tie the 50 or 60 pound fluorocarbon bite guard to the 20 pound class tippet. This is not fluorocarbon, this is a fly line, but I want to show you the key component. The first step in this knot is with the fluorocarbon part. I need to tie a double overhand knot. This fly line hopefully will make it easier to see. So I've just tied a simple granny knot, a double overhand knot. Now I'm going to cinch that down until it turns into a figure 8. And that figure 8 has a cupped side and one that is convex. So the objective of this knot is to take my monofilament material through the back side and through the cup and out the front side of this figure 8 knot. So I'll do that with monofilament and fluorocarbon. This just gives you the idea of what the starting point should look like. So now I have gathered the actual fluorocarbon that we're going to use to tie the knot. And again, we just need a double overhand knot to start. And we're going to pull that down to where it's a figure 8 but not tightened up. And if you look, the cup side will be indicated by the fact that the tail, the natural memory of the fluorocarbon as it comes off the spool, tells me that I did this. This is the right side that I'm going to use to tie the rest of the knot. So I'll put that aside and grab my 20 pound monofilament, and I'm going to take roughly a foot, double it, and kind of pinch it so it's easier to get through that figure 8. So right through the figure 8, and hopefully you can see that it just went straight through there. I'm going to pull up about 7 or 8 inches of the monofilament and simply tighten that figure 8 knot down. Just hand tight, doesn't have to be real tight. Now, what we're going to do is wrap 4 wraps going away from the knot and 3 wraps right on top of those 4 coming back toward the knot. And this is a simple but critical step in the whole process. I need to have an opening to push that doubled monofilament back through, so I need to hold this open. So I'll just pinch that between my thumb and my forefinger and start the wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps away, and then that will just lay right back on itself. 1, 2, 3 wraps back, and the doubled monofilament goes through the opening that we maintained, and the knot is essentially tied at this point. Now we just need to tighten it up. We don't want to pull on this doubled monofilament section, but instead we're going to tighten it by pulling on the tag end of the 20-pound and the standing line of the 20-pound. So I'll just simply lubricate this knot and pull it down, and there is the Slim Beauty. To finish the knot, we simply clip the tag of the doubled portion, the tag end of the fluorocarbon, and the tag end of the 20-pound on this side. And there's the finished Slim Beauty knot, 20-pound to 50-pound, and good strong knot, easy to tie, and non-obtrusive in your fishing system. So there you have the Slim Beauty. Thanks for watching the video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got questions, other questions that weren't answered today in the video, give us a call. Follow us online, haywardflyfishingcompany.com. Follow us on Facebook. If you still get frustrated after you try these for a while, give us a call. We actually sell these leaders in the shop. We sell all the materials that I used today. So, not to worry. We got you covered. Get out there and catch a big one. Thanks again.